Packers are absolutely terrible, and I feel really bad for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers is trying his best, doing what he can out there. He has no help, no receivers, no protection, no nothing. I mean, every game, his receivers drop like 5+ passes a game. It's unbelievable. I mean, they had like 5 drop passes like at the start of the third quarter or something crazy like that. They lose at home to the Jets, 27-10. Now the Jets have been pretty solid this year. They've looked really good. They lead the league in fourth quarter points scored. They're number 2 in like total point differential in the fourth. So they're a really good fourth quarter team. And that showed again here in this game, right? They outscored the Packers 10-0, but Aaron Rodgers just really doesn't have help. And even their wins this year, because the Packers are now 3-3, but even their wins, none of them were impressive. They were all tight games. They were all rough games. They were all games that they could have easily lost. I mean, this Packers team could legitimately be 0-6. Like, seriously, I mean, it's just, it's sad to see because they could have easily lost to the Patriots. They could have lost to the Bears. I mean, they could have lost to the Bucks. The Bucks, you can make an argument, the Bucks were right there. The Bucks should have beaten them, right? So it's like, however you slice it, it's one of those things where it's just like, at some point, do you just say, all right, it's time to move on and hit the reset button? Or if you're Aaron Rodgers, at some point, do you just say, hey, like, we need to be done? Because, I mean, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you got to be looking at it. The only game that we won relatively with confidence was the Bears game, right? That's the only, that game you won 27-10. And you had an explosive second quarter, but the second half of that was terrible. They scored 3 points, I think, something like that in the second half, off the top of my head. And so outside of that, like, you've gotten blown out by the Vikings, you got blown out by the Jets. You should have lost to the Bucks. It's just however you look at it from front to back, this team is just not good. They can't really stop anybody. The receivers can't catch the football, and that's like their only job as receivers. It's a mess. And I just think at some point, you got to start looking at moving Aaron because he still has a ton of value. There are teams out there that would pay a treasure trove to go get Aaron Rodgers. And so if you're like I think a team like the Colts, I think the Colts would sell everything to go get Aaron Rodgers. Here, you could have our next 10 draft picks if you want. Here you go, just to go get Aaron Rodgers. Because I think that the Colts are a team that is good, but they really could use a quarterback. Would a team like the Dolphins, would they move off of Tua to go get Aaron Rodgers and try to win a championship, right? Like, there's teams that would be out there that would be willing to sacrifice a lot to get it done. The Saints, would the Saints go and get Aaron Rodgers? You got so many options, so many choices. If you're the Packers, if you were to make Aaron Rodgers available, that I think at some point you got to look at it and just go, you know what? Like, this season, it's a loss, it's a wrap. Yes, everybody in the league is kind of in the same boat. Everybody's kind of equally good or equally bad outside of a couple teams, outside of the Bills, and the Eagles and the Chiefs, right? Outside of those 3 teams, I guess the Vikings too, because the Vikings are what they won today too, so they're 5-1 also. But I don't really know if I believe in the Vikings personally. But Eagles, Chiefs, and Bills, and Vikings are all they're all one-loss teams or they're undefeated. Everyone else is kind of 3-3, 2-4. You got the Jets that are 4-2. The Chargers are 3-2, and then the Giants are 5-1, and the Cowboys are 4-1. Which the Giants have really impressed me too. The Giants have really impressed me this season. But again, the majority of the teams, the majority of the divisions, the majority of the conferences they're all right there. They're all kind of where the Packers are at. But the Packers were supposed to be that team this year, and the Packers just look really bad. Some of these teams, they're just losing tight games or, bad play or something like that. That's not what's happening here with the Packers. They just look terrible. They look like a team that just doesn't know how to get out there and compete. They're not any good. I mean, Lambeau was an automatic W for the last several years if it wasn't in the playoffs, right? In the regular season, if you win in a Green Bay, you might as well chalk that up to an L. Like they didn't lose in Green Bay, and now they're losing, every game in Green Bay. I mean, they're losing every game, period. It's just like you're not seeing those dominant displays, those dominant performances. And I just think if you're the Packers, do you just say, hey, let's hit this reset button? Let's kind of go see what's out there, or at least explore it. At least explore some trades and see what teams are offering. I think that especially early on, look, I don't think they're going to trade him during the season or this season, but why not? You're not going to win anything. There's teams right now that are like, because everyone is so sort of even in the scope of things, I really think teams would sell the farm to go get Aaron Rodgers like right now. I do. I really think that teams would line up to get Aaron Rodgers. A team like the Saints, they're a game out of being the leader of the NFC South. Go get Aaron Rodgers. You don't think Aaron Rodgers can equate for that? No, or even a team, even like the Niners, right? You go get Aaron Rodgers, you're probably winning the Super Bowl. I know you got Trey Lance and stuff like that, but Aaron Rodgers, you go get Aaron Rodgers if you're the Niners. And you're right now you're leading the NFC West 3-3, but you lost today, and that was a bad loss. And it's like, if you go get Aaron Rodgers, you could probably save your day, save your season. I don't know. I think that there's teams out there that you could go get Aaron Rodgers and completely turn around and salvage your season. Colts, again, are another team. Titans, if you're the Titans, do you go make a move for him? I don't know. I just think however you shake it, I think you have a guy in Aaron Rodgers that I think okay, if we get Aaron Rodgers, we could probably, if we don't win this year, we got him for a couple years. We could probably win a Super Bowl or two in that time before he retires. I don't know. Granted, Aaron Rodgers has to want to leave too, and that's the big question. Does Aaron Rodgers want to leave? But if you're the Packers, do you just say, hey, dude, Aaron, it's not working this year. Let's just move on. Let's just be done. I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is. But Aaron Rodgers, there's no way Aaron Rodgers is happy. There's no way. Every time he throws the ball, these guys can't catch it. I'm talking wide open catches just being dropped. It's not like they're just, they're going to catch the ball and just get slammed and, they don't catch it. No, they literally, you had a little dump pass to the receiver, and the guy was wide open and just dropped it. Nobody was near him. Nobody would have touched him. He probably could have ran for 10 yards and just dropped it. And that happens regularly with this Packers team. And I just think that, at some point you got to say, you know what, enough is enough. Let's just be done. Let's just move on. Let's just call it a season and just get what we can get. Bring in Love. Let him kind of, go through the trial and errors of this season, round out the rest of the season and get some draft picks, get some assets and move forward. The problem is you're never going to be able to replace Aaron Rodgers. To go from Favre to Rodgers, it's probably never going to happen again, and it's just you never know. You might be able to get, you don't even need an Aaron Rodgers, just get a mid-tier guy. We've seen, look at the Niners. The Niners with Jimmy Garoppolo, who isn't a lead or anything like that. They're a contender every year. Every year they're a win away from being in the Super Bowl. You just got to put the right pieces around them. But Green Bay just isn't willing to do that. I saw a statistic the other day that it was Aaron Rodgers has had one first-round pick receiver or something like that in the history of his career. And he had him for a year. And it was I can't remember the receiver off the top of my head, but it was his last. It was he had it was for a year, and it was his last year or something like that. They just don't go get receive. They just don't like to put help around Aaron Rodgers, and it's amazing because as incredibly talented as Aaron Rodgers, he is arguably, just from an overall quarterback standpoint, is arguably the greatest quarterback ever to play the game. The dude is incredible, but he's on a team that just doesn't want to put the pieces around him. He's on a team that just doesn't seem to care, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But to have Aaron Rodgers and not have 5 Super Bowls, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. They should at least be there every year in and year out. And look, they've been a contender every year in and year out without much help. Go get him even a little bit of help The one year that he like arguably had help, they had like a top 5 defense, stuff like that. He won a Super Bowl. But every year beyond that, it's like nothing. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is in Green Bay. I just think it's an absolute mess. Like this, it's just a dumpster fire right now, and I just don't see a resolution. I just don't see them being able to figure out a way to turn it around, and all of a sudden they're gonna be this super team and get back to being the stars that we know they could be. Like I just don't see that. I just think that their season's very likely done, even if they do get to the playoffs, probably losing in the playoffs. And I just think why prolong it? Why draw it out? Just be done with it, move on, and call it, and get your assets, get your pieces now. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions, and as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that, look, trade Aaron Rodgers, get the assets, get the pieces you can get now, move on, be done? Or do you think, no, like you got to go and try, keep him, he wants to stay, you got to stay. I don't know, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, whatever your opinions are, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. I'd love to hear them down in the comment section below.